the opportunity and the honor. The first thing I have to ask you, I think, is on many people's minds. What do you think of the current financial crisis affecting the United States? And does it make you think that the American model has many flaws in it that we are just recognizing now?
The crisis that occurred in the United States may have an impact that will affect the whole world. Nonetheless, in face of such a crisis, we must also be aware that today's world is different from the world that people lived in back in the 1930s. So this time, we should join hands and meet the crisis together. If the financial and economic system in the United States go wrong, then the impact will be felt not only in this country, but also in China, in Asia, and in the world at large. I have noted the host of policies and measures adopted by the U.S. government to prevent an isolated crisis from becoming a systematic one, and I hope that the measures and steps that they have adopted will pay off.
Do you think you can continue to grow if the United States goes into a major recession?
A possible U.S. economic recession will certainly have an impact on the Chinese economy. We know that 10 years ago, the China-U.S. trade volume stood at only $102.6 billion U.S. dollars, while today the figure soared to $302 billion U.S. dollars, actually representing an increase of 1.5-fold. A shrinking of U.S. demand will certainly have an impact on China's export. And the U.S. finance is closely connected with the Chinese finance. If anything goes wrong in the U.S. financial sector, we are anxious about the safety and security of Chinese capital. That's why at the very beginning I've made it clear that the financial problems in this country not only concerns the interest of the United States, but also that of China and the world at large.
There is another sense in which we are interdependent. China is the largest holder of U.S. Treasury bills. By some accounts, you hold almost $1 trillion of it. It makes some Americans uneasy. Can you reassure them that China would never use this status as a weapon in some form?
As I said, we believe that the U.S. real economy is still solidly based, particularly in the high-tech industries and the basic industries. Now, something has gone wrong in the virtual economy, but if this problem is properly addressed, then it is still possible to stabilize the economy in this country. The Chinese government hopes very much that the U.S. side will be able to stabilize its economy and finance as quickly as possible. And we also hope to see sustained development in the United States, as that will benefit China. Of course, we are concerned about the safety and security of Chinese money here, but we believe that the United States is a credible country, and particularly at such difficult times, China has reached out to the United States. And actually, we believe such a helping hand will help stabilize the entire global economy and finance, and to prevent a major chaos from occurring in the global economic and financial system. I believe now cooperation is everything.
Premier, when your country has grown, as you pointed out, 9.5% for 30 years, fastest growth rate of any country in history. if people come to you and say to you, what is the Chinese model of succeeding as a developing country? What would you say what is the key to your success? What is the model?
By introducing reform and opening up, we have greatly emancipated productivity in China.
我们一个重要的观点
We have one important thought that socialism can also practice market economy.
People think that's a contradiction. You have the market economy where the market allocates resources. In socialism, it's all central planning. How do you make both work?
我们完全
The complete formulation of our economic policy is to give full play to the basic role of market forces in allocating resources under the macroeconomic guidance and regulation of the government.
30年
We have one important piece of experience over the past 30 years, that is to ensure that both the visible hand and invisible hand
这两
are given full play in regulating the market forces.
其实，如果你读过亚当·斯密的话，
If you are familiar with the classical works of Adam Smith, you will know that there are two famous works of his. One is The Wealth of Nations, the other is the book on the morality and
道
ethics.
是情操论。前者
And The Wealth of Nations deals more with the invisible hand, that is, that are the market
另
forces.
一方面
And the other book deals with social equity and justice.
是
And in the other book he wrote, he stressed the importance of playing the regulatory role of the government
调节
to fairly distribute the wealth among the people.
分配每个人的财富。如果一个国家财富
If in the country most of the wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few, then this country can hardly witness harmony and stability.
同样的情况，
The same approach also applies to the current U.S. economy. To address the current economic and financial problems in this country, we need to apply not only the visible hand but also the invisible hand.